You know, Hogwarts Legacy is a perfect example of why nostalgia is so important inside of video games. Hogwarts, like, voice crack that will actually be left in this video. It is so crazy that I'm 30 years old and I still get voice cracks. It's like insane. Anyways, nostalgia. Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy is a huge example of the power of nostalgia. The reason that Harry Potter and Hogwarts Legacy, it's Harry Potter. I'm going to keep saying that because I grew up watching the Harry Potter movies. Anyways, Hogwarts Legacy, the reason that this game is going to be such a big deal is because of nostalgia. And people like myself that grew up with the movies, and the odds are if you did not grow up with these movies, you are at a certain age where you watched one of the movies and you went back and watched all of the other ones. And because you went back and watched all of the other ones, now you have this like memorable stuff inside of your mind. You may not be like me, but personally, the way I am, when I'm watching movies, I want to go visit friends. I want to watch these movies with friends. I want to watch movies with, you know, girls or guys or whatever
fancies your boat.
Okay, like these movies, man, like they bring these like memorable moments because there's so many different Harry Potter movies that the odds are you watched at least a few of them with your friends. Forgot to say to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment.
I hate saying it just as much as you probably hate me saying it, but if I do not say it, like 1% of you will actually do it.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. If you feel like gaming is not fun anymore, there's a few reasons for this. If you feel like gaming is not fun, one, it is because you're playing games that have an intentional manner to milk your bank account. I'm not saying that microtransactions are bad, because they're bad to a certain extent, okay? Like, so if you have a game that you enjoy, there's no reason that there shouldn't be some way for you to actually support the developers of that game. You see a lot of YouTubers making these Patreon accounts. What's the difference behind that? I don't have a Patreon account. I'm just using that as an example. So anyways, nostalgia, game. If you don't like video games, microtransactions, companies that milk your wallet, that is part of the reason. Two, because you're paying for a subscription and you're getting your hopes up that Sony, yes, I'm speaking to you, Sony or Nintendo, but Sony is the worst at this, okay? You're getting your hopes up with PS Plus that Sony's actually going to give you a good video game. Am I saying they never give you a good video game? No, I'm not. But the odds are they're not giving you the games that you want on a consistent basis. So you're paying for something, you're pretty much required to pay for it, not only to get free games, but just to simply play video games online. They're going to say, oh, well, Xbox does this as well. Dude, Games Pass, Sony will never, ever be able to compete with Game Pass. I do not see any company ever getting to the point that they will ever be able to compete with Game Pass unless Game Pass changes and they make it worse. Game Pass is the best value for a gamer, period. $1 a month to start it, to make sure it's worth the $15 afterwards. My friends, nobody will ever be able to compete with Game Pass. Sony, Nintendo, PC included here, ever. Literally PC. There's hundreds of apps on PC for you to get games. Epic Games, Steam, GOG, whatever. There's tons of apps that are always giving you free games. But you see Game Pass, the difference. Game Pass gives you brand spanking new games. With that new Rick and Morty game that just barely came out, it's on Game Pass. Microsoft Flight Sim, Game Pass. Hogwarts Legacy, probably going to be on Game Pass. If it's not a PlayStation exclusive, which I'm going to feel really stupid if it is. Those three things, biggest components, biggest key factors, personally, in video games. I don't really care what that nostalgia factor actually is. You know, whether it's, you know, maybe you grew up with Super Mario on the Super Nintendo, a 2D platformer. You don't have to go back and play Super Mario on the Super Nintendo from 30 years ago in 240p and remember it. You can play Mario Odyssey now. It's a brand new game. Or you can play like I don't know, like some other platformer type game that brings like some sort of memory back to that video game and the nostalgia. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, I remember I used to go over to my babysitters and my like, I considered this guy, my brother, Josh. I used to go over to my babysitter. We would play Mario. And I remember the level with the balloon where you swallowed the balloon and you had to float around the freaking level. And there was a bunch of those football turtles that were throwing footballs at you. And the balloon only lasted a certain amount of time. Hardest level ever. Just used myself an example here, but like I'm just saying, like this is like Harry Potter, since we're talking about this. The game is a memory to the movies and the experience that you had going to the movies to watch the first Harry Potter movie with your best friend, with your girlfriend, with your family. You remember that time where your parents dropped you off at the movie theaters, where you're from a small town and you went to the movie theaters, like a fancy movie theater where they give you dinner and everything. And then you get to walk around that city with your girlfriend. Dude, there's memories. There's memories that stuff like this happens. And if you don't like video games and you feel like games are not fun anymore, it's because you're not playing games like this that bring back memories, or you're playing games that are online. And people, this is not just the gaming community, people in general suck. People are toxic humans, okay? 2% of the population is actually nice and a friend and will treat you well. The other 90% are either pricks, toxic humans, or they're using you to their benefit. And it will become very obvious the older that you get. You think you got a lot. If you're younger, you think you got a lot of friends right now. As soon as you turn 18, you're going to have like 1% of those friends actually stick with you. And it will only be understandable when that time comes and it happens to you, you know? So yeah, man. Let me know if you guys are excited down in the comment section below for Hogwarts Legacy. I'm super pumped for this game. All of the movies. I don't think that there's a Harry Potter movie that I did not enjoy. So I'm excited to experience the like fun stuff about this game. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you guys next one. Peace.